So we've had a bit of rain here. It doesn't sort of dry out. And I never thought I would see a little mushroom growing out of my balcony deck in a crack. So it's Sunday evening, rained all day Saturday, and today it didn't rain, but the weather has been on and off, sunny, cloudy, that sort of thing. We had groceries being delivered, so I sort of just stuck around the house until they were done, and then went to the store myself just to get fresh produce that you don't want other people picking out for you, in particular for his food. Just getting out for a walk now. Bit of a relaxing weekend of sorts. A little bit of washing done. I felt like I needed to chillax this weekend after the last 2 weekends being that engineering day and then the conference. I just needed a weekend where I wasn't at work. Had the timetable in. Yeah. However, I kind of wanted to look up what this block of land cost again, because the sign is still up. And it says 1.1 to 1.2 million. And it's 26 hectares. It's about 100 acres. That's a good bit of land, but there's only like a 1 acre parcel at the front, like this bit just here, that you're allowed to actually build on, from the look of it, from the rules that you see listed on the sale. Still be nice to have like your own little piece of bushland that's yours. You can go and make little walking trails or stuff like that. Regenerate if you find, because there's a creek down the back. Just kind of keep it as your own little healthy area for native wildlife and plant life and that sort of thing. But I was kind of prompted to look it up after, on the way home on Friday, I stopped at the store down in Emu Plains just to get a couple of things, and there was a estate agent there, and I just thought I'd have a look in the window. Townhouses in Emu Plains going for 1.3 to 1.6 million for a townhouse, 3-bedroom townhouse. The cheapest thing I saw, 667,000. I think it was freestanding, but it was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, older fibre house type thing. Yeah, they're all like townhouses and things, starting at 1.1 million on tiny blocks, like a townhouse size block, 400 square metres. That's crazy. I've obviously been out of the market for quite a while. I was also prompted to check it out because I'd been listening to a podcast which was talking about the housing crisis in Australia, especially Sydney. Housing is just becoming unaffordable for most people, especially young people. A lot of people are moving out to the country areas, which is good for the country areas. But my goodness. So getting away from the multi-million-dollar houses, there's no way I'm going to be able to ever afford something like that unless I just go into further debt. Currently, I've seen a few houses popping up in our area, regular blocks of land, 1/4 acre maybe, or smaller. There was one that had been done up nicely inside, and I can say that because I'd been into it. No, I'd seen it online when it was for sale quite a while ago. The house has been bought and sold a couple of times, I've noticed, and one of the people have obviously done a bit of work on it, so it's nicely landscaped out the back. House is all right, 3-bedroom, 1 bar, no garage. and it's going for about 850. Nicely landscaped, but not super useful like a lot of the blocks in the mountains. I've seen other ones like that have gone for $1 million, 1.1. I keep thinking of house pricing back when I bought my house, which was a long time ago and a lot lower. I'm curious, what's the property or the housing situation like where you are? I know I've got a few people in Australia, but I do believe I've got people who view from over in the States. What's the average price for a 3-bedroom, 1 or 2 bath house? What size block of land do you get for that? Is there vacant land where you live, like building blocks, and what do they charge? What are they asking for that? I saw a vacant block, like just a regular building block. I can't remember if it was in this town or the next town, and it was going for about $660, just for like a 800 square metre block, 1,000 maybe. When I look in new building estates down around Western Sydney, you're getting blocks that are at maximum 400 square metres, and they're asking somewhere between probably 600,000 to 900,000 just for the block. How does anybody get into that market without mortgaging yourself to the hilt, without a prospect of retiring? I reckon the housing market could burst in Sydney because the prices have just been going up and up and up, and it's because there's a lot of investors that have been buying up multiple properties to rent, and rents aren't cheap. If you could manage a mortgage, it'd be cheaper than renting. You've got to be able to get your deposit and finance sorted. There's incentives for her first home buyers, of course. You don't pay stamp duty and stuff. Jumping into politics, there was this massive hoo-ha about our Prime Minister finally buying his first property, and it was up on the Central Coast. Very nice coastal home overlooking the ocean, I think, or with views of the ocean. And it was probably around close to 2 million or more. And everybody's going, oh, they're trying to say that he's in line with the Aussie worker, the average Aussie battler, and look what he's buying. Whereas the opposition leader owns 26 houses. There's so much offshore investment into properties that people just can't buy into the market. It's week 7. It's an 11-week term, so we've still got a few weeks left. I'm relieving for one of the deputies for the next week and a half. Conveniently, the week that they were meant to run muster and assembly. If I sound a little croakier than normal, we've had a bit of an issue with little ants everywhere. Not just in the house. I had them in the truck yesterday. They were getting into a can of Coke I'd left sitting in the drink holder for a couple of hours. But yeah, just little black ants getting into the house, and they'd gotten into the bedroom. So I got an exterior surface spray that we've got, which is like a pump on a big bottle, and I sprayed around the bottom, around the edges of the doorways and everything on the top balcony. Well, I think I inhaled some of the spray, and my throat, it woke me up coughing. My throat doesn't feel that great. I remember the last time I used it, I wore a mask. So why didn't I this time? Silly little mistakes you make. So it's kind of just as well I'm not on class, but I am doing an enrollment first thing this morning. Thankfully, it's the lighter of my weeks, like my week A and week B. My week A is lighter class-wise than my week B. I've got 2 really heavy days in the week B. But with the new timetable, I'm actually meant to have stage 5 timber today for a double, which really sucks. and I'm meant to have stage 5 medal for a double on Friday, which sucks that I'm going to miss that as well. However, I am going to an aspiring deputy principal conference on Friday down in the city. The boss approved that last week, thankfully. I felt bad asking to go because I'm sitting in and relieving as the DP, and then I'm going to be out for a day. Water under the stairs again, and I leant over to have a look, and my glasses fell in the water. So I went and grabbed the grabber to get it. And there's one of the froggies. He's little. But I reckon there's got to be another one in here because they're making a lot of noise. There's another one. First one was up there. See? There he is. And then this little one. That makes a bit more sense that there was, because it sounded like more than one frog. There was a bit of a frantic rush for the train. No sooner sat on the seat at the station and the train came down. Made it. This is there's only one other person in this carriage and they went downstairs. But this is the peak commuter train getting into Sydney 8:15, and because of that it's got 8 carriages, which means that at this next station they said it's a short station, so if you want to get off you've got to get off at the back 4 carriages, and the train just sort of goes past it to stop. But anyway, I usually sit on a quiet carriage. I need to make a phone call on the way in, and don't want to do that on a quiet carriage. That's just rude. So I'll be on here as people start getting on. This will come on. Still just feeling a little bit weird when you're in like a closed space.
Doors closing. Please stand clear.
Going in for a aspiring DP conference in the city. The boss and the deputy I'm currently sitting in for encouraged me to go. I felt weird because I'm actually relieving and I'm taking a day to go away, so but they said no, it's on, go, do it. My throat's still a little croaky from bug spray last weekend, but it's getting slightly better. Hopefully today is worthwhile and full of opportunities. I guess I've got to make those opportunities, don't I? Finally made it home. The trains were chaotic, to say the least. Trains running late, platform changes constantly, the app not reflecting what was supposed to be happening. My 3:56 train, I don't think actually ever happened. I was sitting there waiting, and the train that was on our platform was going to Kiama, which is down south on the coast. And I figured that'll go out and then our train will come in. And it just sat there. So I checked the app again. It said a different platform, so I walked around there. That one didn't stop all stations. I opened the app again, saw that it said like platform 9, pressed it, opened it up, and it said platform 2, and I came back around, nothing on platform 2, but there was a train on platform 3 that said it was going to the mountains, but it said it was the 309 service, and it was already 10 to 4. I asked one of the guards, I said, look, is this train actually going somewhere or not? And they said, yes, it's going up the mountains, blah, blah, blah. It was so crowded on the train, and the first The first carriage, which was the quiet carriage, which I wanted to be on, was full of construction workers, and the whole carriage just smelled like BO. So I got off and got on the next carriage, and it was okay. But it just sat there and got crowded and crowded and crowded. Didn't leave till about a bit after 4:30, and ran slow. Got into our station at like 6:20. I was supposed to get there at 5:30. Long, hot, tiring. But the deputy conference was good. It was well worth it. It was well worth a very good conference. Saw some people I knew this time. Had some chats. Yeah, it was good.